Hello again. So this is video 2 that I'm making on the 1st of, February. This is in an attempt to catch up on video responses to the topics from weeks past. And this one is a response to bad drivers. So here's my take on bad drivers. And I loved all the responses, you guys. I think that I agree with pretty much everybody. You know, people who aren't paying attention, obviously bad drivers. People who are texting while they're driving or putting on makeup or any of those things, yes, that's bad. I have to admit, though, I'm very guilty of a lot of those things, and I've had some pretty close calls myself. So as far as, you know, trying to check email and text messages while I'm driving, I just turn off the notifier, because what happens to me is I hear it and I am so programmed to immediately pick it up and look at it that I don't even think about the fact that I'm in a car. So yeah, I have to turn that off while I'm driving and put my out of office notification on, or otherwise I will pick it up just out of habit. People who don't use their turn signals, bad to me. That is so bad. They put the turn signal on the car for a reason, which is to let the person behind you and in front of you know that you're about to switch lanes or about to make a turn, so that, you know, I don't know, you don't run into each other. I know it's a novel idea, but that's why it's there. And one of my favorite things to say while I'm driving and seeing somebody not using a turn signal is that turn signals must have been optional on their car. That's just one of my things I say. I'm a very rageful driver. I get very angry when people do stupid things like tailgating, or I guess, I don't know, riding my bumper, I guess would be a better term for it. Because, you know, in Missouri, tailgating, that's a whole different thing. That's what you do in the stadium parking lot before a Chiefs game. But I really don't like when somebody's right up on me, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen in front of you, or to the person in front of you, to make them have to slam on their brakes. I mean, anything could happen. So those are a couple of things that really drive me crazy. As a matter of fact, I am so weird, and I guess controlling is the word for it, when it comes to drivers on the road, that I started to, this has been several years ago, but I started to actually create a website dedicated to giving an entertaining instruction on how you should drive, or what the correct procedure is. And I think Bob said something about, you know, people don't know, they pass this test, but it's a one-time thing. You know, they pass it, that's it. You don't have to, if the rules of the road change, or even if they don't, I mean, you know, just knowing who goes first at a four-way stop when two cars pull up together. I mean, those are things that are in the driver's manual, believe it or not. I don't recall that question being on the test, though. The test, when I took it, just had, you know, the road signs and things, and as far as the written part. And then the driving part, we had a little course at the DMV where you drive through cones, basically. There's no other real cars, which, you know, which is a good thing, I guess, for a lot of people. But the parallel parking was something I could never get. But somebody else mentioned having a place where you could just go and just test out your car. Eva, I think it was Eva that did that. Eva responds. I agree completely with that, and they have it for police officers, where, as a matter of fact, they have it for police officers where they can take a shot of whiskey or whatever alcohol and go out and drive, and on this little course, and see how much they're driving, their attention span, and their, you know, how their driving decreases, how their driving skill decreases, I guess is what I'm trying to say, so that they can see, not only can they find out how it feels to drive in an impaired state, but they can also learn to recognize when someone is driving in an impaired state. So why not have that same thing for, and obviously not for 16-year-olds with the impaired driving, but they should definitely have a course where they have different road conditions and different scenarios where, if you, it just reminded me of remember in Men in Black, the first one, where they took them all into the room and they had the little things pop out, and they had to shoot the bad guys. Well, there you go. Same kind of scenario, except you're in a car dodging people. Where I used to live, we literally had people, pedestrians, who would just jut out in the middle of the road over, the cars are coming over a hill, the guy just walks out in the road, and of course he got hit. Unfortunately, but it's gonna happen. I guess you can't be lucky every time, but then also the driver should not be going as fast as they were going, or should have been more aware of their surroundings, because maybe they just weren't. And of course it's gonna fall on the driver because they hit a pedestrian. And I have seen people, I've seen one person get hit by a car before, right in front of my face, and it was pretty horrific. I'm at 6 minutes, so I won't take the time to tell that story, but it was very scary. Thankfully it wasn't at high speeds or anything, but it was definitely scary. So I agree. Paying attention is a huge part of being a good driver. Knowing what's going on around you, checking out and seeing that the person beside you, that their tires maybe wobbly or something, and getting away from that, those sort of things. Paying attention to your surroundings. And I don't think that just has to do with driving. I think that has to do with everything. But yeah, and having a little bit of consideration for your fellow drivers. Just because you own a really expensive car does not mean that you own the road. You own more of a portion of the road than the rest of us, but it doesn't mean that you own the entire road. I know, that's terrible. That's a personal thing of mine, that there are certain car drivers that think that they own the road. And some of them, they don't even have to be in an expensive car. They're just on the road. So there's that. And what other complaint can I put in this video? So yeah, knowing your surroundings, making sure that you're being considerate of other people. Oh, that's what I was going to say. In Atlanta, when you got on 285, you feared for your life, because people weren't going to just get over to let you on the highway. That wasn't going to happen. So you really had to be very, very careful about trying to get on the highway. You started out at 90 miles an hour to get on that highway. Now here in Missouri, it's a whole other set of rules. And I remember somebody else was talking about the different ways people drive, and in different areas. And here in Missouri, people will actually they will get over into the left lane in order to let other people merge onto the highway. How great is that? When I moved here and that happened, I was literally, thank you so much. I was just stunned that people would do that. So of course, since I live here, I do what everybody else does, and I get over and let somebody get on the freeway, which I would have done in Atlanta had I not known that if I would have gotten over to the other lane, I probably would have been slammed. But anyway, so I think consideration, paying attention, knowing your surroundings, those are huge benefits to driving. And I think that's all I've got for this one. So thanks again, everybody, for your responses, and I will see you in just a couple minutes with my response for the next topic. See you later.